I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Those questions are, who are you? How do you define yourself? And do you think that you are the same person today that you were even 5 years ago? Well, the reason I'm asking you these questions is because I believe that there's a fundamental correlation between how you define yourself to the lifestyle that you live. Now let's bring it back down to simple terms. When we think of this, think of somebody who's extremely fit. That person that's fit, how do they define themselves? They define themselves and their values based upon the idea that their self-image of themselves is somebody who is in a fit state, somebody who's more athletic, that's doing things that get them to that physical state that they want to be in. So, naturally, their lifestyle will reflect the fact that they eat very clean, or they go to the gym, or they're very athletic, they run. Whatever that is, that lifestyle will be in alignment with that definition that they have for themselves. Now let's move it along to somebody who loves knowledge, who loves reading, who loves learning. Now, if you look at their lifestyle, most likely you'll find that what they do is inconsistent with how they define themselves. So they might find themselves reading a lot of books, listening to audiobooks, watching TED Talks, whatever it might be. The fact is they are absorbing information based upon how they define themselves. Now, knowing that how we define ourselves, how we view ourselves, our self-image is something that will be in alignment with our lifestyle, the idea becomes, how do we view ourselves in a better light? How do we love ourselves more and have a better self-image for who we define ourselves to be? Well, one of the ways that I did this was very simple. What I did was I went within. When I went within, what I did was I just simply meditated. I focused on my breath, I brought the awareness into my body, and I simply asked the questions. Well, over a period of time, from asking those questions and from finding out more about what I'm passionate about, I was then able to start a momentum where anything that was out of alignment with that self-image that I had for myself began to fall away from who I was. And one of the reasons this is so powerful is because we will always remain consistent with how we define ourselves to be. So knowing that is something that we can powerfully apply in our own lives, because we can understand that that definition, that self-image that we have, is going to be how we act in accordance to that consistency. Well, what I propose to you is that you have the ability inside of yourself to define yourself in a new way, to have a better self-image for yourself. And as you begin to relate to the world in that way, you're going to begin to see your life change, because it starts from within. When you really learn the inner game of how to become the best version of yourself, you'll then notice that circumstances begin to change. You begin to see opportunities that weren't there before. But this is the funny thing, is those opportunities were always there. It's just that you couldn't see it because you didn't think you were worthy enough to exist in that frame. You didn't think you were worthy enough to have that kind of potential. And the truth of the matter is us as humans, our potential is literally unlimited. There is no end potential to what we can do. We can do anything that we put our mind to. The only limitations we have are in our own mind, are how we relate to the environment that we live in, are how we view ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. What I found, for me at least, is that as I began to love myself more, as I began to have a higher self-image for the way that I relate to my external environment, what I began to see is that certain things fell out of my life. One of those was alcohol. I haven't drinking alcohol in a long time. And one of those reasons is because when I drink it, it doesn't make me feel good. One of the reasons it doesn't make me feel good is most likely because it doesn't resonate with the self-image that I have of myself. Now, I don't even think alcohol is that bad. It's something that I could do every now and then and probably be okay with it. But the idea is that because it doesn't make me feel good, I just choose not to do it. There's a lot of other things that I used to do too that I've completely let go of. Not because I was so focused on letting those go, but because I was so focused on the self-image that actually brought me the ability to feel state within. That brought me the ability to have unlimited potential because of the way I view myself. That brought me the ability to take action in a new way. And because I've done those things, I've really begun to love myself in a new way. So when it comes to the idea of you really being able to embody a better lifestyle, the key is to have a better self-image for who you are. If there are certain habits that you're trying to get rid of, instead of focusing on trying to get rid of them, focus on doing things that make you the best version of yourself. So for example, if I were to tell you right now to not think of a pink elephant, don't think about it right now. Don't think about that pink elephant just sitting there all pink with its trunk. That pink elephant, don't you think about it. Most likely you thought of the pink elephant. Now the way that our brain works is even if we're intending to focus on something else, the opposite of what we're thinking about, we are still focusing on it. So a lot of people that try to quit smoking cigarettes, for example, their focus is not smoking cigarettes, not smoking cigarettes, not smoking cigarettes. And because of that, their mind is consistently thinking of cigarettes and it's causing the resistance inside the body. Well, if instead that person were to then focus on the best self-image of themselves, if they were to focus on running or to focus on finding another outlet that is more in alignment with that self-image that they have, what they would then be doing is shifting that focus over and making it easier and easier for them to do activities that is filling that void, filling that spot. And because they're not focused on smoking the cigarettes, they're then able to focus on activities that actually bring them out of that space of wanting to smoke cigarettes because their focus has changed. As you begin to truly love yourself, as you begin to associate certain characteristics for yourself, such as growth, such as progression, such as finding things that resonate in a higher form, as you begin to do those, you're going to see that you begin to embody a new level of being. Think about the idea that at a cellular level even, our body is constantly changing. As we put foods into our body, for example, as we begin to do that, the food begins to be broken down and we begin to absorb it and it becomes a part of it. So literally the food that we put into our body becomes a part of us. And as we begin to eat different food, we begin to become a new person. And even biology, even physicists are showing this to us. The fact that our cells are constantly regenerating themselves. The neurological structure of our brain is constantly changing because we're having new reference points, we're having new thoughts, and because of that, we're literally embodying a different and new identity. We're relating to the world in a different way and we're having different definitions of ourselves. So my question is to you, are you having better definitions about yourself? Are you expanding your self-image, expanding the type of abilities that you have, the potential that you believe is possible? Are you expanding all of those ideas? Are you loving yourself more? Are you cherishing the different characteristics that make you who you are? Are you looking at the potential of what you can do? Are you finding out your passion? As you begin to do all of these things, you're going to begin to embody a different type of energy. Not just a figuratively different energy. You will literally become a new and better version of yourself. You'll literally begin to change the cellular structure of your body, the neurological pathways of your brain, and you'll become a new, stronger, better version of yourself. And the way that you do that is through your focus, through having a better self-standard for who you are, and raising your standards in general. This is something that's had a huge impact in my own life, that's completely changed the way that I view myself, the way that I interact with other people, and the habits that I have. And I believe that as we focus on becoming those best version of ourselves, as we begin to have a better self-image of ourselves, the way that we get to where we want to be in life is through embodying those characteristics. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Feel free to like and subscribe below. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Bye.